Do you have 25,000 Kenyan shillings somewhere with you? Oh, and by the way, if you're watching this video from diaspora and you're wondering, how much is 25,000 Kenyan shillings? By the way, I'm talking about $230. So it's not quite like a humongous amount of money. And because I know you always ask, hey, Joseph, is it possible for someone who, doesn't have like huge amount of money? Can they invest? Can they do something? I mean, can we do, can we engage in this, way to achieving what we call the financial freedom? Yes, you can. And I always tell people, you can be able to start somewhere. You don't have to accumulate and get yourself a huge amount of money for you to kickstart the journey as far as the investments are concerned. And by the way, I know you guys watching this video, you're not the same. You're not facing the same challenges or you're not having the same mission. That's why I've tried to accumulate or sort of, classify these three individuals. These are three different individuals, the A, the B, and the C. By the way, to just shed a light a little bit for you to understand is that the A is an individual who is looking forward into starting a normal business, like a conventional business. I want to sell vegetable, I want to sell milk, I want to do eggs, I want to do, I just want to do a business, okay? I don't like those things about shares. I don't like the money market fund, the mutual fund, the bonds. I don't like those things. I just love doing businesses because I'm used to getting money each and every day. They are those kind of individuals. Then you have another class of individual who are like, well, right now I'm employed. I do not have time. I just want to start something where money is working for me as I do other things. Yeah, I know I do stand to gain not like a humongous amount of money, but anyway, I'm not engaged there. That's fine. And then we have other kind of people with the same amount of money. They're saying, hey, I don't want to start a business now. I still don't want to start an investment now, but I want to keep my money somewhere because I'm aiming into getting a certain amount of money by the end of 2024. Hey, if you fall under this category, this is your home. This is the video that you need to watch until the end. And by the way, I'm going to share this information with you for free. The only thing I want from you, or I need as a favor from you, and it's a request, is to like this video. It doesn't cost anything. And as well, down below there is a small button written subscribe. Do you know the importance of you hitting it? You'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. Let's get into the business. Now, let's deal with type A. These are individuals. If you have the 25,000 and you're this kind of an individual, if you are this kind of an individual who doesn't love things to do with shares, money market fund, treasury bills, index fund rates, all those things that I tend to talk much about them. So if you want to talk about businesses, there's no problem. This 25,000 can start you variety of the businesses. I know you are waiting for me to throw you ideas on what you can start with 25,000. Obviously I can, but if I just throw ideas like you can do, some small you can do groceries, you can do vegetables, you can do milk, you can do eggs, you can do, instead of you just throwing ideas out there, that won't help anything. And I know you already have those ideas in your head. But what if I can offer you a foundation understanding on how you can come up with a business? That's the ultimate good thing, okay? Before you even think of what business idea you can start, it is not you who think, it's where you come from. Look at the ground, at the environment. What does it dictate to you? Okay, the area that I come from, okay, fine. Everyone here is a farmer. So everybody tends to have their cereals. So cereals cannot do anything for me, so I can't start that business out there. So you look at that specific area, what that you want to fill in. And remember one thing, whenever we talk about businesses, they usually have high risks and they usually have what? High returns, okay? Now, for you to start that business, you have to tailor it down according to the area where you come from. For example, let's say you come from a city or a town and you look at that particular area, you see, okay, fine. I think these guys, they do not have good supply of fruits, or groceries. Therefore, I know a place where I can buy these things in bulky, be able to come here. I know you may not be able to have the capacity to go and rent a space for you to do so. You can do so. If you're watching this from Africa, you know what I'm talking about. You can just do your business in an open air place. All what you need to buy is just an umbrella whereby, you don't expose yourself to a lot of sunlight, and again, the vegetables and what have you don't require like that exposure. See, the reason why I made this video is to make you understand that you can start somewhere. Right now, as we speak, there is an individual who is looking for only 1,000 bob. Forget about 25,000, only 1,000 bob. For example, there are these guys who hawk coffees each and every evening, or maybe early in the morning. This guy just needs some way less than a kilo of sugar, okay? That goes for like 200 or 300 or something of sort. And you need to buy yourself some sachets of coffee and a few, what do we call them? The few lemons. And the guy has a business. You're walking around and you're hawking the coffee and you have your 400, 500 each and every day, all right? So talk of 25,000. So you can get yourself. So what you need to do is to identify that area or locality where you come from. Then fill that gap. Never forget this. And this is where you people tend to forget. And that's why most of the time you look for mechanical solutions and they are never available. What we do is that money is always a reward given after solving someone's problem. If you identify a locality or an area where you come from and you know, hey, if I was to buy eggs in wholesale, I get myself an umbrella where I can be able to sit and be able to open air and be able to sell my product here. Guys can pass by here and I can offer a competitive price compared to that is what is offered in the shops. You can be able to make something at the end of the day. Did I promise that you'll be successful within an instant? No, I did not promise that. Okay, I know you were likely to say, hey, it is easier said than done. Obviously, I did not say it is easier done than said. That's a reality. Okay. Number two, you have to consider factors to start a business. What are the factors to consider? Obviously, even if you're just doing your business outside, you have to make sure that you adhere to the rules and the regulations of the land. You have to get yourself a permit. Okay. And number three, or rather the other thing to consider before starting a business is that, hey, you have to understand what kind of a business am I getting into. All right. For example, someone who is getting into a business of selling perishable goods, you know, one thing, you cannot be able to accumulate lots of them because, hey, if you do not have the capacity to move them out, to make them fly off the shelves, then it can actually go bad, and that cannot mean good for your business. The other thing is that you have to target your customers. Who are your target customers? And the location is the one that consider or connects you with your target customers. If your target customers are A, B, C, D, then you have to come up with a business that actually, or locality that actually connects you with those kind of guys, so that at least you can be able to meet their demand. The other thing is that budget and a business plan of that specific business. You cannot just wake up early in the morning, show up to a market, start doing the business. You might actually not execute it. So you have to sit down with the pen and paper. Hey, you have to budget the umbrella. I'll buy 2,000 or 3,000. Okay, I'll buy a seat for this amount of money. I'm gonna buy myself the holding containers and what have you. I'm gonna buy this. I'm gonna do the budgeting for the licensing, the permits like this. I'm gonna do, get what I'm saying? If you put in consideration all those factors together, therefore it means that you'll be able to execute that business and progress to the next level. So one thing that I can tell you, the last one, as far as the business are concerned, is that run it in a better way, in a sense that you actually have good, what you call the, the money skills, the management skills, so that at least you do not eat, like visually say, don't eat your stock. All right, you kind of know how much you're making as a profit, how much goes towards you buying the commodities and the products that you're selling, or maybe you're doing the service. By the way, I saw a guy who is doing the mobile barbershop. The guy has all the machines are required to you do the shaving. So instead of him renting a house and what have you, the guy is walking around, in those rental areas, telling you, hey, I can shave you at the comfort of your chair, I can comfortable of your home. And by the way, guess what? I'll clean up all the messes that I'll cause during the shaving process and what have you. And by the way, if you feel like you don't want to keep the hair and what have you, I can just as well keep it for you. You get what I'm saying? So that is a way. And by the way, with the 25,000, guess what? You do not need any permit. I'm talking about Africa. Maybe you're watching this in America and you're like, what? You don't need a permit? Yeah, sure. You don't need it. Yeah, in Africa. So you can buy yourself a shaving machine. You can buy all those washing, the hygienic, the sort of a thing and what have you. And then you get yourself a good backpack. You're good to go. All right. Whenever you go, obviously there are electricity and you can be able to shave them from their premises. And if maybe you come across a place where there are no electricity, then you can be able to connect to someone who has the nearby, and then you can always negotiate how much you're gonna part with for the sake of that. So I mean, seriously, you ought to be a little bit creative for you to be able to make some cash. This is a good amount of money, and you can be able to go ahead and start something that can take you to the next level. All right. So anyway, if you're the business person, I bet I've done you justice. And if I haven't, maybe you can comment in the comment section up you're watching, and then you tell me, hey, Joseph, I think you can say this, or maybe this one better, or maybe I did this, and can be helpful, can be of help to each other. All right, let's go to the person number B. Now, this is an individual who is employed. Okay. This individual is actually employed. It does not have time to go and operate that business. And if they were to start it, then it means that they have to employ someone. But again, this is business. If you employ somebody and it's the preliminary stages of a business, then you realize that people cannot actually nurture that business the way it's supposed to be done. So what happens? So they say, hey, guess what? I got my money here. I just want to put my money somewhere it is working for me. Yeah, I know I stand not to gain a lot, but at the end of the day, I'm going to earn something. So here we say, when it comes to investments, they usually have what we call the low risks, okay, and they usually have what we call low returns, okay. So when you know that way, then you would be surprised if I tell you can put your 25,000 somewhere. Maybe you can put it in an MMF. You can put your money in something like stocks or shares, depends on how you call them. You can put your money in something like index fund. index fund. You can put your money in something like rates. You can put your money in something like SACCOs. In Kenya, we usually have something called SACCOs. I was explaining about that thing before. You can check my previous video. So these are just but examples of the areas where you can channel your money. So these are guys who they say, hey, guess what? I'm not looking forward into starting a business soon, but I just want to invest my money somewhere it's earning me some cash and be able to progress to the next level. So they think of this kind of an investment. By the way, sometimes for those guys who really are sure of what they need, they call you and they tell me, hey, guess what, Joseph, I don't want to start any business. Just tell me where I can invest my money. Well, obviously not all of my money, because we always say, hey, you have to diversify. And I just put my money there and I'm looking it forward from 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 years or even 10 years from today for the purposes. Some of you even take it as a pension way or retirement benefit whereby they can be able to get their money at the end of the day as they grow old towards there. So this is an area where you can be able to pick it up. Anyway, I don't want to stress much about this information. I've been talking about it. If you're watching this from far from country Kenya, maybe you can go consider how you can buy shares from your country, the index funds as well, the rates, the SACCOs in Kenya. All these are available and you can actually do so at the comfort of your house, and everything will be good and you can be able to invest and progress to the next level. Again, never forget this point. 25,000 or any amount of money out there, it's quite a good amount of money that you can be able to do what? To invest. Now let's go to the person number C. The C part is these individuals who well, they do have the 25,000. Let's say maybe they're even employed. They don't want to start any investment so far. They also don't want to start any sort of a business. They just want to have a way or strategy on how they can be able to sort of accumulate more money in a faster. Let's say maybe it took them like a year to make 25,000. So they are looking forward into getting a strategy on how what they can be able to do to make within the same period of year that they made 25,000 to actually make more than this. Now, this kind of an individuals are special group of people. These are the people we say they are a bit sophisticated. Why are a bit sophisticated? Because they know, hey, I need 100,000, I need 200,000, I need 2, 3, 4, 10, whichever the amount of money for me to execute a certain idea. And they always have that business plan ready for them. So in this category, nowadays in 2023, henceforth, we are not saving money. We don't save money. We invest money immediately because we have a variety of areas where we can be able to invest our money instead of saving then invest. So back then we used to say, hey, save your money, accumulate it, store it, then get it, then invest it. Nowadays you can actually skip the part of the saving, go directly to the investment. Because if you were to pick these examples like the index fund, the stocks, for example, let's say exclusively MMF, the mutual funds, okay, or the SACCOs. These are areas where you can actually put your money in liquid form. For example, if you go with the FDS or the fixed deposit, some people call it fixed investment fund or something of sorts. If you were to fix your money in a period of time, then it means your money is subjected to an interest rate. Your money is subjected to that increment. And some of these ways of putting your money out there, it actually offers what we call the compounding effect, meaning it's like you giving birth to babies who give birth to babies. Get what I'm saying? So it's like your interest is also earning you interest. So it's an area where you can actually accumulate. And there was a time I made a video about if you can manage to, part ways with 10,000 each and every month and be able to invest in different circles, you can actually accumulate yourself over 400,000 in a very short period of time, less than 3 years. Okay? So what do I mean? If you are looking forward into accumulating more of this, then those are the areas where you can be able to pick it up, put your money out there, multiply your money, and you can be able to progress to the next level. All right? But again, hey, it's gonna take you a little bit of time to actually accumulate like a substantive amount of money. You see, wealth and riches is actually a respecter of time, and you ought to do so as well. If you tend to sort of rush things out, then you can actually go ahead and sort of mess your things along the way. All right, by the way, guess what, guys, that marks the end of my video, but don't forget this: I post a video each and every time, and make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss any good video of mine. Now this one I'm gonna leave you with. Okay, now we have 3 ways on how you can do this. Now the point is this: what I'm gonna leave you with, always diversify. What does it mean? If it is possible for you to actually have the 3 of them at the same time, that's the best thing. Why? You have an investment somewhere. Obviously this one offers as a sort of a soft landing, just in case of anything. You have some money that you fixed somewhere. It's not only saved, but at the same time is it invested and is actually making you some interest. And also here on businesses, at least you have that thing that is actually keeping you running each and every time. That is exactly how you get yourself a good portfolio of investment. And for now, it's a goodbye. See you in the next one.